Here are your messages. You have 30 minutes to move your car. You have 10 minutes to move your car. Your car has been impounded. Your car has been crushed into a cube. You have 30 minutes to move your cube. Welcome to today's cube. That is losses above replacement, baby. Let's go.
Plus, I have so many questions. Also, where's my car?
It is a cube.
It's not a cube. I need to drive my cube.
No.
Also, I didn't buy the Kia Soul. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. We're not going to talk about Kias. Friends,
cube,
I hope
though.
your cars were not turned into cubes. My football team was turned into a cube, but that's okay. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I think, honestly, probably one of the best weekends of my entire life. I got a job on Friday. Hell yeah, awesome times. Can't talk about it, but that's okay. Here, I got to see live wrestling for the first time here with SmackDown coming to Seattle. It was a very, very good time. There's Splash, very good to see your face. But, joke for the people watching on YouTube, by the way, go watch this on YouTube. Saturday, my Cougs won against the Huskies in the Apple Cup here in the game that nobody thought that WC was going to win, including a game that was very fraudulently set as a neutral site game, as in 10 minutes away from the Husky Stadium and even farther technically away from Washington State's field. Here, yeah, definitely a neutral site. Good job. And yet still won, and then both the Seahawks and Mariners had excellent weekends as well. And I saw baseball on Sunday. It's always fun.
Yeah, I'd say I had a pretty good weekend, too. The Mets may have lost twice, but the Steelers won on Sunday. Other than that, I was in Boston from Thursday to Saturday. Got to see some family friends I hadn't seen in a while. Ate a lot of good food. Shout out to the lobster rolls at James Hook in Boston, and to Legal Seafoods. I had a po' boy, but it was with clam. And then we went to a really good Brazilian place on Friday night. That was pretty sick. So yeah, I ate a lot of good food. If you've ever been to Boston, you know that they have amazing ice cream. So yeah, we made sure to get our fix of that as well. So yeah, overall doing all right.
I'm going to describe my week in one pick'em matchup or one survivor matchup. I had the lack of intelligence, I don't know how you want to phrase it, to choose the Washington Commanders in a survivor pool with a $1,400 plus pot, right? So my thought was, I don't want to take a road team. I don't want to take the Chargers. I don't want to take San Francisco. I don't trust Dallas exactly. That was a weird game, right? Dallas is good, but the Saints scored 50 points, basically. By the way, the Saints have scored 40 points in 3 straight games. I don't want to take the Ravens. I don't like jinxing the Ravens. I'm going to take the Washington Commanders with a rookie quarterback in the second NFL start and Dan Quinn at the quarterback spot, or at the head coach spot. They won on 7 field goals. The Giants needed to have their kicker get injured. Hope Graham, recovers. Mm-hmm. So that was my weekend. Incredibly stressful. The Commanders did end up winning that football game. The Ravens did not. The Braves won the first 2 in LA, and we're not going to talk about the game Sunday night. That was an abomination. That is just flush it. Work has been a pain in the buttocks. My personal life is stressful. This is not exactly a great week, but we are alive. That is the point. That is my overarching theme here. We are alive. We are still in the survivor pool, unlike the people that took Baltimore and San Francisco and Dallas. We are still alive with the Washington Commanders.
Before the plans came up to go to Boston, I was potentially going to be at that Commanders-Giants game, and my friend ended up going. He's a huge Giants fan, and let's just say Giants fans are not a good place right now.
I mean,
I do feel for them.
Here's the thing, right? I don't want to disrespect Danny Dimes, but I think he does it himself. Not to be rude to the guy, but man, it's not fun to watch Daniel Jones try to play football.
Yeah, I don't know. They threw $160 million at him. I don't know.
I feel like that still is such a flawed idea. Like, I don't see what he has done that has been worth $160 million.
He is the only NFC quarterback to beat Lamar Jackson. At least
Yeah,
I
guess
don't
fair.
see what he has done to earn $160 million. Anyway,
fair enough.
Regardless.
Anyways, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, 2 weeks ago, we had a segment called This Team Will Win the World Series If Blank. This week, we are poking holes in all your arguments. So if you are a Phillies fan, a Dodgers fan, a Brewers fan, a Padres fan, a Diamondbacks fan, a Braves fan, or a Mets fan, welcome, first of all. Hello. Hope you had a nice day. Hope you had a better week than I have.
Hope you have a nice day because we're about to ruin it.
Yes, we are about to ruin it. We are about to poke holes in all of your teams. The National League is not going to win the World Series anyways. It'll be some team in the American League. And whoever hosts next week can say the same thing. Just flip it. The National League will not be winning the World Series. Most importantly, the Philadelphia Phillies will not be winning the World Series. Mac, tell us why. What is their fatal flaw? Why do they suck?
The back end of their rotation. I'm just going to say it. I know that they in a playoff series, chances are you only need 4 guys, but this whole revolving door of Taijuan Walker or Colby Allard or insert other guy here, that's been their biggest weakness. So you move that one of those guys, say, to the bullpen, but I'll just say I'm having a hard time poking holes with the Phillies after watching them this weekend. Their offense isn't perfect, but they've gotten contributions from guys like Weston Wilson and Cal Stevenson. These are guys that I did not have on my radar this year. So, but if there is one weakness, it's that back end of the rotation, and it could end up weakening their bullpen. But really, their bullpen is really good too, which that was my big concern coming into this season, but they've proven me wrong. So if the Phillies don't win the World Series, it's probably going to be something on the edges,
Alex, tell us why the Phillies are odds with the PH.
The Phillies are not going to win because not every game is in Philadelphia. Like, here's the thing. Philadelphia, the team itself is so dang good in Philadelphia. In fact, you take a look at their home and away splits. At home this season, they are 52-26. Just to give kind of an idea how good that is, that means every 3-game series, they win 2 of them at minimum. And that is insane. On the outside of it, in away games, 38-33, which again, still above 500, still very, very good. The biggest strength is the entire city of Philadelphia. So if you play any games on the road here, that is your time to have to capitalize against Philadelphia. And we've seen a lot of times, especially for the Phillies in the playoffs, that has been where they have fallen short.
That's what impressed me so much about the Diamondbacks making the World Series last year, is that they were able to go into Philadelphia and win those last 2 games.
Yeah, this is a situation that the Braves and Dodgers know all too well. You drop one of the games at home, game 1 or game 2 in that NLDS series. That was repetitive. NLDS. You have to win a game in the opposing team's ballpark, right? So the Braves drop game 1 or game 2, and then they have to win a game in Philly just to force it to a game 5, right? Philadelphia, you have to do that this year. You have to win game 1 and game 2, or else you got to win at least one game, if not both, in a different city, whether that's in Queens or whether that's in Atlanta, whether that's in San Diego or whether that's in Phoenix. You got to win one of those. In Philadelphia, this is the problem. This is a vibes team as much as I think any team in baseball. When the vibes are high, the vibes are immaculate. Bryce Harper, Nick Castellanos, Bryson Stott coming out to A-OK. The vibes are just phenomenal. But when you lose, and you're a vibes team, you're a Philadelphia sports team. You look at the Eagles last year. As soon as the vibes went south, they hit a wall. They were the best team in football for 3 months or 2.5 months. And then they hit a wall and it all went off the rails. If the vibes are gone, if you have a bad Wheeler or Nola outing, or not even a bad one. Last year, Wheeler was excellent against Atlanta. Atlanta gets a rinky-dink 2-run homer from Austin Riley. They win the game on the miracle Michael Harris play the Attaboy Harper play that one. If that game was in Philly and you're coming back to Atlanta and you have that huge momentum swing, I don't know if Philly wins that series. I don't know if they win game 3 or game 4. That series might not go back to Philadelphia. So Philadelphia, the ball is in your court. You have to do what the Dodgers and Braves have been totally incapable of doing the last couple of years. So moving on to team number 2, a team that is currently in my city and made me very sad last night. The Los Angeles Dodgers. Alex, tell me why the Dodgers will once again fail to win the World Series in a 162-game season.
Because Dave Roberts is still their manager. Like, I've been saying this for years now at this point. Here, this team has such incredible talent. For the last several years, they have had incredible talent. How many World Series wins have they had with these teams that all of us have said multiple times are the best team in baseball? Once. And you remember what that one World Series was? In the COVID year. So guess what? Dave Roberts is still your manager. It means you're not winning. You need to pull off a miracle run to do something. Yes, your team is still dang good, but they have fallen apart in the playoffs over the last, it feels like every year, it's the same old story. So it's like song as old as what was it? What's a Beauty and the Beast thing? It was like song as old as rhyme, song as old as time, Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme. Dave Roberts will choke.
I mean, I'll say this: it's like I feel like Dave Roberts. It's kind of like Doc Rivers in the NBA, where he always has the team to make it to the playoffs and be a high seed, probably win your division. But you're right; his teams do tend to fall apart. And I get Roberts has only ever managed the Dodgers, but I mean, he's made the playoffs every single year. They've won 100 games multiple times under him. I believe his winning percentage as a manager is over 600. But yes, his teams have fallen apart almost every year except for the COVID year. I'm going in a slightly different direction though. I think the Dodgers' fatal flaw is their starting rotation is just a mess. And granted, a lot of it is health related. Stone, Glasnow, and Kershaw are all hurt, and Dustin May's out for the year too. So you're going into a series and relying on just, Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Jack Flaherty, I guess, because Walker Buehler has not been good this year. Bobby Miller, I don't know what happened to Bobby Miller this year. He's just not done his job well. So, and then Landon Knack is back, but he's been injured a lot too, just like Buehler. He also had an injury. So you're kind of banking on a lot of guys who are probably going to be limited in what they can do. And then, I mean, I actually think the bullpen has been really good lately, especially since getting Michael Kopech. And then their offense is relentless, really. Now that everyone's healthy, it's hard to stop that lineup. So I have a number of concerns about that rotation, and that was their big weakness last year, and it showed pretty badly in the NLDS against the Diamondbacks. So it seems like this is I don't know if this is a great way to put it, but this foreseeable choke job by the Dodgers seems kind of predictable this time around.
The Dodgers' fatal flaw, why they will not win the World Series. Baseball games are 27 outs, and you can score as many runs as you want, but if you allow +1, you lose, right? And that is going to be the Dodgers' issue. What's up?
I said the Angels just sneezed at that. That's always my joke when it comes with the Angels, is that it doesn't matter if you score 10,000 runs if you give up 10,001.
This is a valid point. And like Max said, the rotation has significant issues. Do you trust any member of that rotation today to go get 15 outs in a playoff game? 15, not 20. I'm not talking about the days of Christy Mathewson complete game shutties. I'm not even talking like 6 innings. Can you get 15 outs and have a really taxed bullpen? Can you get 12 outs? Yamamoto is back and great, but he's not worked up all the way. and he's going to tonight. He's pitching, I don't know, 80 pitches, 75, 80 pitches. Are you asking him to throw 100 high stress playoff pitches? I don't know. I don't think so. Right. I don't trust the Dodgers to get into the fifth inning, even the fifth inning, consistently with their starters. And as soon as you do that once or twice in a playoff series, you might be cooked because you're burning up your bullpen arms. And all it takes when you start having that parade of bullpen arms, one bad inning, one guy who doesn't have it, one guy whose fastball is down a tick or slider isn't sliding that day, or the curveball just hangs a little up in the zone and you allow a homer or two, that's the series. That's your season done. So I don't trust the Dodgers to get through 4 innings in a playoff game consistently. Yeah. Like I 5 through 9, they can do that. But as soon as you have to do it twice or a third time and you're going to the same arms in the bullpen 1, 2, 3 times, I don't know, man. I don't know. That they have the offense to be in a lot of high leverage spots. You're going to have to abuse those high leverage arms. And sometimes it works. Sometimes you can Washington Nationals your way to a World Series. Other times you have one little bloop single here, one little slider that doesn't slide there, or one missed call here, and the game's over. Your season's over. So, Team number 3, Milwaukee Brewers. I have beef with you, so I'm going to start with you. The Milwaukee Brewers will not win the World Series because Pat Murphy has questionable levels of intellect. This is from one instance. This is just strictly from yesterday's game. Why did you not bring in Devin Williams? What are we doing here? He's one of the best relievers in baseball. He might be the single best reliever in the National League. And it's a key game. It's a key spot. You need to hold on. You need to keep winning baseball games. Yeah, we're just not going to bring in Devin Williams. We like the lefty-lefty matchup. Yeah, the lefty-lefty matchup means jack squat when the reliever is significantly worse than Devin Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the platoon advantage is a thing, but you don't bend your will to the platoon advantage. If there's a lefty on the mound and you have Bryce Harper on deck, you're not going to a righty. You're not bringing in, Adam Duvall to face the lefty. You have Bryce Harper, all right? You have Ohtani, he's a lefty. You have Juan Soto, he's a lefty. You're not bringing in, no, righty's on the mound. We got to bring in a lefty. Oh, we're going to take out Aaron Judge. Who cares? Let him hit. And in this case, let Devin Williams pitch. I don't get it. Mac, tell me why the Brewers are frauds.
Well, and to your point, Devin Williams actually has really good numbers against lefties. So, again, you got to factor in reverse splits too. But the Brewers won't win the World Series, I think, though, because of their offense. Yes, their offense has scored a lot of runs this year, or at least more runs than I would have expected from them. They are 3rd in the National League in runs scored, and obviously Willy Adames leads the NL in RBIs, and William Contreras has had a great season again. But Jackson Chourio has been fantastic the last few months, and if it weren't for Paul Skeens and Jackson Merrill, maybe Jackson Chourio would be the Rookie of the Year. But I have concerns. Rhys Hoskins has an OPS plus below 100. That's not what you expect from him. Bryce Turang is fast, but a 681 OPS. Gary Sanchez for a DH, a 99 OPS plus just doesn't really cut it. And they have their outfielders that aren't Jackson Chourio are there for their defense, not for their offense, really. So if I do have a concern about this team, it's definitely that. Because they've hit for more power than I expected. Like I said, they've definitely outperformed my expectations this year. But I think their rotation has enough to get through a 5-game series, if not a 7-game series, and their bullpen is really, really good. I feel like every year the Brewers have a great bullpen, but yeah, I question if this offense can keep things going in October.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I'm going to echo on your sentiment on that a bit, that the Brewers aren't going to win because over half of their starting 10 are playing below average offensively. Like, talk about what you were saying with the OPS and all that kind of stuff. Rhys Hoskins, Bryce Turang, Blake Perkins, Sal Frelick, and Gary Sanchez, all of them, as listed, of course, on baseballreference.com, have an OPS plus of under 100. 100 is average. They're all playing below average. And your best hitter, according to OPS Plus, is Christian Yelich. Where is he? Oh, yeah, 60-day IL. So what are you going to get from this kind of team? Like, yes, you have guys that have done pretty decent. William Contreras has done pretty darn solid overall. Jackson Chourio would be a Rookie of the Year candidate if Paul Skeens didn't exist, or Jackson Merrill. And Willie Adames is doing pretty darn solid too, 122 OPS plus. But you can't just rely on one or two or three guys here. The whole team needs to be working. And don't get me wrong, over the course of the season, that will show and that will work. But when over half of your starting nine is below average, which I need to be very clear about something as well. Gary Sanchez, 1 point below average, just one. So I'm going to count that basically at. You're going to have to really make it work, especially since in the playoffs, your pitching really gets tested. Here, I think we can all say that for experience, that the best teams in the playoffs have good to great starting pitching and offense that can bring it. You're not going to be facing the Chicago White Sox every game. You're not going to be facing the Cubs every game. You're not going to be facing off against, division rivals all the time. You're going to be facing off against the best of the best. And that's something that this team needs to be able to hold off on. Their pitching staff is good, not great. You have to make sure, if you're not going to have that great pitching staff, you need to overpower on offense, and I just don't see that here.
All right, we are going to head to the wild card teams. It's been a, pardon the pun, wild situation in the National League. What every team seems to win. The Padres, Diamondbacks, Mets, Braves, they're cooking. Everyone's cooking. It feels like, heck, the Braves took 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers, and the Dodgers own them, which is wild. But we're going to start with the San Diego Padres. Alternate universe yesterday, they aren't even the 4th seed because they have a weird game in San Francisco. But they survived. They overcome. They've won 3 in a row. Alex, tell me why the San Diego Padres will continue to be ringless.
They're going to continue to be ringless because their rotation's a mess. I mean, I'm looking at what they've got going right now. Dylan Cease, Michael King, Yu Darvish. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Are you going to go with a 3-man rotation? No. You're probably not going to. You're going to have to try and find someone else. Who are you going to rely on? Joe Musgrove? Okay. That could be fine, but if even one of them has any issues, who do you turn to? Your bullpen has been fine. Like, don't get me wrong. Robert Suarez has been solid here. Morjan has been all right as well. Yuki Matsui, all right. But the starting rotation is what's going to be the biggest issue here. Like, yes, Cease and King are going to be your main guys, but you're going to have to go further than that here. Again, if you're not going to have great pitching, the offense has to overcome that. And you know what? Yeah, they've got a good offense here. Taking a look at what they've got right now, their average OPS right now is about 100, if not plus. Like, when you got players on your team like Jurickson Profar, guys like Jackson Merrill, Fernando Tatis Jr., here, those guys have been kicking butt this year. So you're probably okay with not having as strong of a starting pitching staff, but I have a feeling that is going to be what overall sells them.
Yeah, I'm going to echo your sentiment here. That's easily my biggest concern about this team. Yes, Dylan Cease and Michael King have been great, but they don't have a ton of postseason experience. And beyond that, Yu Darvish was out most of the year, so you don't know how far he can go. Joe Musgrove missed a lot of time too, and he hasn't exactly been great this year. He's been better as of late, but I think really their rotation, they're going to have to overuse their bullpen. And look, I'm a big believer in the Padres bullpen. I think it's arguably the best in baseball, probably the best in the National League, especially after getting Jason Adam and Tanner Scott and Brian Hoeing. Like, this is a great bullpen. But their rotation, I've said this in the past about certain teams. I think I was talking about the Brewers a few years ago where, it's great to have a great bullpen, but if you have to overuse them, then their arms are going to tire eventually, and that's not a sustainable method for success. So I think San Diego, they have arguably the most firepower of any team in the National League. And I would not be surprised if they're the National League representative. That being said, it's just, Yeah, their rotation is kind of a disaster. So I mean, disaster is a stretch, but I don't think they stack up well against any of the division winners necessarily.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Friar frauds will continue to be Friar frauds because they are high leverage merchants, ladies and gentlemen. Last year, they had the worst luck ever. They were losing every single extra inning game. They were horrible in high leverage spots. They missed the playoffs because of it. That was a fundamentally more talented team. You don't trade Juan Soto and get more talented. Sorry, that just doesn't happen.
Yeah, correct.
It just doesn't happen. I know they got Cease. I know they brought up Merrill. I know Tatis is, Tatis was played most of the year last year. He's been injured at times this year. But to be clear, the Padres have had just absurd luck the other direction this year. Jackson Merrill feels like every other game he's hitting a go-ahead homer in the eighth or hitting a walk-off homer in the ninth. The Padres, to me, need more consistent offense than the whole eighth inning shtick. I know Luis Ariz has struck out twice in the second half. Is he driving in runs in the playoffs? I don't think so. Is he scoring runs in the playoffs? I don't think so. You score runs in the playoffs with the home run ball. I don't trust the Padres to hit enough home runs to win the World Series. Yes, you have Tatis. Yes, you have Machado. Yes, you have Merrill and Profar. I don't exactly trust Jerks and Profar. Sorry, I know he's had a phenomenal season, but he's not exactly the number one on my trust list. Jackson Merrill has had an incredibly clutch season. I get that. I don't exactly trust a 21-year-old rookie making his playoff debut. I trust Fernando Tatis, but he hasn't had a great season. I trust Manny Machado, but he hasn't had a great season. Where are the homers going to come from? You can't nickel and dime every team to death and win. They would need to win 11 and 13 playoff games. You're not going to nickel and dime teams to death to win 13 playoff games. You need some power. You need to win some games 6-0. You need to have games that you're using your B or your C bullpen, right? You're not going to win every game 3-2 with a clutch homer in the eighth. You're not going to win every game 3-2 with a Luis Ariz little bloop single the other way. You're not going to win playoff games like that. You need to hit some homers.
I mean, I will say Machado has been much better lately. And Tatis has been heating up, and even a quote unquote down year, it's a 131 OPS plus. Yeah. So I feel like I trust their offense a lot more than I trust their pitching staff. They have a ton of talent on their roster, like you were saying. I mean, it almost made me forget about them losing Juan Soto. It's weird. And to your point, last year, I think they only won one extra inning game all year. They're 9-1 this year in extra inning games.
Mm-hmm. And it was in late September. It might have been.
And also, they're 45-30 on the road this year. Worth pointing out.
That'll help. Let's move to the other NL West contender here in the wild card race. That is the Arizona Diamondbacks. I watched this team come back several times against the Brewers last night, so I'll start with them first. The Arizona Diamondbacks will continue to be frauds and will once again lose before lifting the Commissioner's Trophy. Why? Because the bullpen is not trustworthy. In a sort of inverse scenario of the Dodgers that you need 27 outs to win a game, their 27 outs aren't coming from the back end of the bullpen. They are hilariously awful in extra innings. Now, I know the Manfred man doesn't carry over into the playoffs, but they are not good in being a bullpen, right? Every team in the playoff picture has multiple guys you trust in the ninth inning of a playoff game. The Phillies guys, the Dodgers have guys, the Brewers have guys, the Padres have guys, the Mets have Edwin Diaz, and the Braves have guys. Diamondbacks, who are you getting 20 out 25, out 26, out 27, heck, out 20? You need a big spot. You have to go strike out. Fernando Tatis is at the dish. Men on the corners. You're up a run. Who is getting that out? Every other team in the NL playoff picture has the option, has the firemen. They might be great. They might not be amazing. They might be just fine. Who is the Diamondbacks' answer to that conundrum? I know they can hit. They've been electric since mid-May. They have a historic offense. They do the platoon stuff really well. You get Jock Peterson bopping against righties, right? You just strictly do not have him face lefties. Christian Walker, welcome back. Ketel Marte, going to get MVP votes. Corbin Carroll, welcome back. But how are you getting outs, especially at the end of ball games?
I'm going to extend it beyond just the bullpen, though, because actually I look at their statistics, and they are 27th in the majors in starter ERA, 4.86, and their bullpen ERA is 23rd with a 4.39. So I think their bullpen with Justin Martinez as their closer is better than it was before he became the closer. But their starting rotation, I mean, or their entire pitching staff, I mean, they're 13th in the National League in ERA with a 4.65. Their offense can score for days. They lead the majors in runs scored. But I don't know how they can get 27 outs in a game, because really they're and they just lost Ryan Nelson, who had been one of their more reliable starters this year. So, I mean, you're rolling into the playoffs with, I guess, Zach Gallen, Brandon Pfaadt, I don't know, Eduardo Rodriguez is your 3. Erod hasn't been that good this year. I guess, Merrill Kelly's back. But that's a ragtag rotation right now. I know Zach Gallen was supposed to be your ace, and I guess it's still been your ace, but he hasn't exactly pitched like an ace this year. So that's a huge, huge question mark. And good pitching beats good hitting, and they don't have good pitching.
Yeah, I'm going to echo into that sentiment as well. They're not going to win because they don't know how to pitch. Just outright on this one. Their number one pitcher right now, starting pitcher wise, is Zach Gallen. 116 ERA plus. The fact that, from Pfaadt to Montgomery to Kelly, it just isn't a good look. As well as Eduardo Rodriguez, all of them have an ERA plus of under 100. Below average, you're expecting that from your 2, 3, 4 starter in the playoffs. Good pitching is going to beat good hitting. But at this point right now, I don't care how good the offense is. The offense is amazing. But unfortunately, you can't have Christian Walker and Eugenio Suarez be every player on the offense. But regardless of that, still at that point, you need to make sure that you at least have something to kind of lock down enough so that offense can flourish. Yeah, I like the Diamondbacks. I really enjoy that team. They're one of my favorites in the National League. I don't see how they make it that far past a wild card series with the pitching staff the way that it is. This team is perfectly set up for a 1-game playoff. After that, things get really messy here, and that's the issue here. As much as I would love to see them make another miracle run in the National League, I just don't see it, unfortunately.
It's weird because I feel like they're a much better team than they were last year, but then again, the National League as a whole has really improved. So
it has, but also with the starting pitching, at least on the Diamondbacks last year, at least felt a little bit more competent.
Yeah, I don't know
much.
Yeah. Well, last year, that's the thing, is they all stayed healthy last year, and this year they haven't. Merrill Kelly was fantastic last year, and obviously so was Gallen. He started the All-Star game, but this year they've all had their injuries. And I will give the bullpen this, is that, like I said, they made Justin Martinez the closer. I think he's really good. AJ Puck has been fantastic since they got him from the Marlins. So they made the right they got the right reinforcements there. They didn't really get that for the rotation.
It's funny, if you go and look at baseballreference.com, AJ Puck, it says currently has a 9.94 ERA plus.
Yeah, he's nasty, man. I'm telling you.
So can we just have AJ Puck through every inning?
Yeah, maybe he's your option. Maybe Ohtani's coming up and you need to put out the fire. Maybe AJ Puck's the guy you deploy in the 6th or the 7th and be aggressive in that Andrew Miller type role. Or in theory,
how about wait a minute, hold up real quick. Let me cook for a second. Put him as an opener. And here's what I'm saying, right? Your offense is so strong that if you can get the offense going early, you can make the other team play from behind a lot more. I don't see that as a bad option.
Yes, but Puck was comically bad as a starter this season.
I saw him.
Yeah, but he's not being a starter.
I know, but when starting the game.
Yeah, but being a starter means you go more than one inning, more than 2 innings. Being the opener means you're expected to maybe see the first 6 at most.
Fair. I do wonder if obviously baseball's been around over 150 years, and Major League Baseball, we've played the World Series since 1903, basically. I wonder how many ingrained things in like baseball culture we would change if we started from scratch today. Like, I don't know what exact examples I can give you, but what's something that's common knowledge that we think, oh, obviously we do that. But if we reworked baseball, if we started again, that wouldn't be the optimal strategy. But you're not going to change 120 years of history. This is like the have Luis Castillo bat second. Why? Oh, he could bunt the runner over. Why don't you bat David Wright number 2? Sorry to use the Mets as an example, but I have their lineup card ingrained in my head. Like, just bat Carlos Delgado or Carlos Beltran. You have 2 different Carloses. You can just bat second. Anyways, we are going to move on. Actually, we'll talk about the Mets. I know the Braves. Oh, okay. Feel free.
I was actually gonna say something kind of along the lines of what's something common that we probably would rework at that point. We also have a catcher rotation. I think would be a lot more interesting, kind of like how we have a starting pitching rotation. With how demanding the catcher position is, I would not be surprised if we did like something similar with catchers here. And so each pitcher has a catcher that they specifically work with here, and then we also are able to save the legs of the catchers a little bit more, so then they completely swap out as you need.
I'm intrigued.
I actually wrote an article about that like years ago, about like how that would be an interesting idea.
Yeah, you can. I mean, at the bare minimum, you can platoon catchers. Having a lefty hitting catcher and a righty hitting catcher.
But I'm saying like legitimately, like how we have starting pitcher rotations, do that with catchers. I think that'd be interesting.
I don't know. I'd be interested. I'd be interested in that history.
Yeah, I'd be intrigued. Yeah.
One team that is also interesting in the OMG way, the Grimace way, the Haley Welsh way, the New York Metropolitans. Mac, I know you've never seen your team win a World Series, so why will that continue?
Because they need to get the final 6 outs of every game, as shown. As exposed pretty badly this weekend in Philadelphia, for some reason, getting those last 6 outs is like it's like pulling teeth for this team. I mean, seriously, you had a 4-0 lead on Saturday. Yes, Bryce Harper hit 2 home runs, but you had 2 outs and you're facing the number 9 hitter, and you get beat by Cal Stevenson. Then you go to Sunday. All right, finally, Tyrone Taylor hits a home run. You have a 1-0 lead, and you get beat by Buddy Kennedy. You got beat by a guy who was on the waiver wire. With all due respect to Buddy Kennedy, he's also a local kid from New Jersey. But yeah, it's like it's a mess right now, really, because the Mets have not done a lot of losing over the last few weeks, but 5 of their 6 losses have been because of the bullpen, or the bullpen at least has been charged with the loss. Yesterday was largely on the offense. And I'm a big Edwin Diaz fan. I think in general, he's been better ever since returning from the sticky stuff suspension, but he's been responsible for 3 of those losses. So like I was saying, if they can figure out how to get the final 6 outs, I said that's how they could win the World Series. Well, right now it's going to be how they don't win the World Series.
Alex, tell us why the Mets will once again not lift the Commissioner's Trophy.
Because not every seat there is purple. Like the whole just kind of joke idea that Grimace is the reason why the Mets got out of their slump. Grimace should be the reason why they win it all. They're not able to do exactly that yet. Not every seat there is purple. Not every fan there is wearing a purple jersey. That's what they need to win to break their own little curse. Like if you want an extra answer, it's honestly the bullpen. Like the bullpen needs some work, has some issues as well. Like again, Diaz, I still like him a lot. Still one of my favorites, but we've seen it time and time again that it's just not come to fruition.
Yeah, this is a valid point. The New York Mets will not win the World Series because their bugaboo, AmFam Field, is just sitting right there, waiting for that 3-game series. They also play at the end of the year. So you have a lot of opportunities to lose to the Brewers. The Mets usually don't need very many opportunities to lose to the Brewers in hilarious fashion. So I'm sorry, Mets. Maybe in a different year, you're going to Cincinnati or you're going to Pittsburgh or you're going to Wrigley Field because you're not beating St. Louis. We saw how that went. And you're not beating Milwaukee. We've seen how that's gone the last few years. So sorry, Pat Murphy is going to have a brain that series. I regret to inform you. He's going to use Devin Williams to get outs, even if they are left-handed hitters, even if it is Brandon Nimmo, even if it is Lindor. Lindor's unbelievable this year, by the way. Even if it's a lefty, he's going to put in Devin Williams. He's going to get the out. You can do it, Pat. You can do it. So I'm sorry, New York Mets. Now, if heaven forbid the Brewers get the 2 seed, it's on, baby. The Mets are winning the World Series. They go to the Dodgers or the Phillies and absolutely whack them because that's what the Mets are going to do. Just bring out Grimace for the first pitch. I know it's on the road and the playoffs and you don't really do that, but bring out Grimace and wear the purple City Connects every single game, and they will win the World Series until they play the Brewers. But thankfully, the Brewers are probably going to lose to a non-Mets team, so just throwing that out there.
I will say that the Milwaukee series has definitely been on my mind. Just like basically ever since the Mets got back into contention, it's like, oh boy, that's going to come down to the final week where they have to first go to Truist Park and then face the Brewers in Milwaukee. And I saw the Brewers already sweep the Mets to open. Like Splash was saying, the Mets have lost 18 of their last 21 games at AmFam Field. So, and I will say this, that maybe the Brewers have nothing to play for that last weekend of the year. So, maybe that helps them. Just like someone was mentioning recently, like a little bit ago in a group chat I'm in, that the Phillies are probably going to clinch at Citi Field this week. Well, the Phillies then probably don't have anything to play for, maybe other than the 1 seed. But maybe you get a couple of Phillies hangover lineups, which you can take advantage of. But the Brewers series is going to be kind of ridiculous. And honestly, I think AmFam Field looks very nice. I definitely want to go visit it. I just don't think I can ever go while the Mets are in town because chances are they are losing. So if it's beyond the bullpen, AmFam Field, definitely. It's like how would I equate it? It's like
when the Ravens play the Steelers.
Well, Raven Steelers. Yeah, I was thinking. Wow, I was trying to come up with like something from a movie, but I couldn't think of one. It's like I don't know if I'd call it the Death Star.
The Star Killer.
Yeah, exactly.
Even worse. Well, my friend, from your team to my team, the Atlanta Braves will not win the World Series because it is impossible for a team who misses the playoffs to win the World Series. We're not going to talk about last night. Frankly, I don't think the Braves have the requisite star power to overcome anymore. Marcell Ozuna hasn't hit a home run in a month. Matt Olson doesn't hit home runs. He only hits doubles. The team cannot hit in clutch situations. Runner on third, less than 2 outs. Listen, I appreciate the approach, the lack of approach. I appreciate it when you have a lineup 1 through 9 that could all hit 30 home runs in a full season. I appreciate that when Ronald Acuna is his own run scoring machine. I can appreciate even this year, he scored a ton of runs despite only having a 350 on base and only being like an average MLB player. But the Braves at this point, to me, don't have the star talent, don't have you just look at the Dodgers series and Ohtani comes through with 2 RBI doubles and Betts comes through and Freeman comes through. And I don't think the Braves have an answer. I don't think the Braves will be in a playoff series that they have the best player on the field outside of Chris Sale. Chris Sale has been unbelievable. He might as well go against like the Murderers Row, and I think he'd allow 2 runs. So that's my synopsis on the Braves. Their whole season. So Acuna, Strider, return soon, please.
Yeah. It's weird for me to say it, but I think the offense is, last year, the year before, they were arguably the best 1-9 in baseball. This year, they're far from it, and it's probably going to be the reason they don't If they make the playoffs, I don't know how far they can go. And if they don't make the playoffs, it's, their lineup has been decimated by injuries, top to bottom. Albies, Acuna, Riley, and then I will say their pitching staff has been fantastic this year. They have the best ERA in the National League, and Chris Sale will probably win his first Cy Young award. Their bullpen, I mean, Raisel Iglesias will probably get down ballot Cy Young votes, and heck, maybe he'll even snag like a 10th place MVP vote. The bullpen has been really, really good this year. You enter a series probably with Sale, Fried, and Schwellenbach, maybe Morton. That's a good 4-man rotation. But yeah, their offense is, there's, the whole good pitching beats good hitting, but their hitting doesn't do enough to beat good pitching.
Yeah. I feel that. And so for me, honestly, the main reason why they're not winning is because you're not playing in a hospital. At this point right now, take a look at the main players. And this is an unfortunate, because I love a lot of these guys. I honestly do. Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley, Acuna. Let's see, who else? Darius Vines, AJ Minter, Reynaldo Lopez, and Spencer Strider. A lot of amazing players that are just not on the field because they're hurt. And like you said there, Mac, last year, this team, top to bottom, when healthy, was fantastic. And honestly, this lineup is still pretty good, but not anywhere near where they could be right now if players had been able to stay healthy. Imagine if we had another full season of Acuna, right? Would have been amazing to see. But because of that, they've been weakened so much to the point where, I don't see them being able to continue on in that kind of way. Don't get me wrong. They can do well, especially when you talk about great pitching versus great hitting. At this point, when you have guys like Chris Sale that can do this and other pitchers that are still making it work, they're going to need to, if they're going to make a run at it, they're going to have to basically do what the Diamondbacks did last year of just play the game close, try to win these close games as much as you can, and play from there.
So I do have one more thing to add. This is kind of the shtick the Pittsburgh Steelers have, that you have the one super elite player, that's TJ Watt, and the rest of the team is good. They will make plays, but when it comes down to it, I don't know who is stirring the drink. And without Acuna, without Strider, you have Sale. So Sale's the TJ Watt equivalent here. Without Acuna, without Riley, without Olsen not having as good of a season as last year, with Harris struggling, I don't know who's stirring the drink. I don't know who's driving in runs and scoring runs in a playoff game. I think Sale can get outs. Schwellenbach's a rookie, so he comes with the normal rookie caveats. But I think Schwellenbach is a awesome pitcher. I think Max Fried, in theory, is a tremendous pitcher. I think hopefully you get Reynaldo Lopez back, and he would be dangerous in a multi-inning reliever role, frankly. I know he's been a starter all year, and he's been awesome, but he would just be gnarly, pumping 99. Morton is a playoff hero, but I don't think you have the star power. I just don't think you go into a series with a team, you don't have the best position player. You might not even have a top 3 position player, depending on who you're facing. So unfortunate, but we proceed. And next year, April 1st, hopefully Spencer Strider's out on the mound and Ronald Acuna is patrolling right field, because he's even injured Acuna, it would probably be a better defensive player than Jorge Soler, with all due respect to Jorge Soler. And Acuna's not even that great defensively to begin with.
Soler does have a lot of power.
Yeah.
But he's a DH.
Rocket arm, too. So that's the one nice thing. This is the Pat Burrell, Jack Cust method, I guess, that you're objectively bad offensively, but you got a hose. So it helps a little bit. Adam Dunn, I guess, had a hose, but he was so bad that it didn't matter.
Yeah, no, there are a couple of Vladimir Guerrero actually.
Guerrero's first thing that came to my mind at that.
Very below average defensively, actually, but oh my god, he had a ridiculous throwing arm. That's one of the best I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Man.
Fear stat.
Fun times. Well, one of the best games I've ever seen is Immaculate Grid. Well, this case, we are actually seeing it. It's blind, And Alex is leading us. He has put the blindfolds over our eyes, metaphorically, of course. We're not into that.
Ayo.
Yeah, ayo.
Oh, no, actually, no, I'll use the clip I've recorded before. Ayo!
Okay. So,
Okay.
Alex, please lead us, like Bird Box style, lead us down the river. I've never actually seen Bird Box. I don't like horror movies, but
That's fair.
I do like the background of these movies. I like learning about them. I do not like watching them.
That's I respect that. I'm with you on that one.
Shout out to
All right, ladies, gentlemen, theys and gays, and everyone in between. It is now time for the blind immaculate grid. So I have a grid. I drew it on my whiteboard here, and the only teams, by the way, no stat things, nothing like that. These two individuals here are going to take turns naming players, and I will tell them whether or not they are a valid answer on the grid in any spot here. And the goal, unlike in the Immaculate Grid where you're trying to get every square, just try to play tic-tac-toe rules. Just try to get 3 in a row somewhere. If you can do that, you'll be the winner. If you give me a player that has eligibility for multiple boxes, I will tell you which boxes that they are eligible for. You will pick one that you will use for your space. So, with that being said, I have a dice here.
And one clarifying question.
Yes, please.
Is it active players only?
Yeah, we'll go active players only.
Edwin Jackson.
That's oh no! We'll go active players only here. Okay. So I have a dice here. I'm gonna roll it. If it's evens, Mac will choose if he wants to go first or second. If it's odds, then Splash will choose if you want to go first or second. It is a 5, so Splash, you can choose. Would you like to kick or would you like to defer?
I would like to receive.
There you go. There you go. There you go. I just want to see if I can mess with you a little bit there.
I'm going to hopefully receive it in the landing zone so I can return it.
Sure.
Mr. Sir, I would like to lay up with one Jock Peterson.
Mr. Jock Peterson. As I take a look here, I'm going to be using, of course, Baseball Reference to fact check everything here. So
you can see the beautiful 2020. No, he doesn't have a 2021 World Series because he has multiple, so it's like 2x World Series.
Yeah, 2020 Central one.
Darn.
And Jock Peterson is not a viable answer.
Darn.
That's great.
That's kind of
respect the pearls.
All right.
Actually, yeah.
All right.
For like 5
Mac,
teams.
Back to you.
I'm going to go with Craig Kimbrell. I know he's been around the block.
Craig Kimbrell. Here, I'm not sure. He might be on this grid.
Played for a lot of
not
teams.
100% of
that. You know what annoys me? The meme, like the first time meme, but it has the Braves on it.
It's like, dude, he was good.
He was a Hall of Fame. He might be the greatest reliever of all time as a Brave. Like, I'm just pointing it out there. The stats are the stats. Maybe the best to ever pitch in the National League if you are Mariano.
Okay. Craig Kimbrell is not a valid answer for this grid.
Wonderful.
Garbage, man.
Splash, it is back to you.
I was going to say Nelson Cruz, that he's not active anymore. I would like a give me a Austin Hedges.
Austin Hedges.
Forgot that he was active.
Interesting.
Hedging my bets there.
Yeah. Let's see here. Trying to make sure that I'm getting everything right here. I don't want to accidentally lead y'all astray.
Yeah, we are blind.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you are. Austin Hedges does qualify for
let's go, baby.
Spot on the grid.
Austin
Hedges gives you, on the tic-tac-toe board itself, the middle left box.
Middle left. Okay. So we're vibing, I guess. Now I got to think of the teams.
Okay, all right, Mac, it's on to you.
I'm going to go with another journeyman type. I'm going to go with Charlie Morton.
Charlie Morton, another interesting player, been around since 2008, his first year. Let's see. I wish my computer was not running so slow. That'd make this so
We all
much
need new
easier.
laptops. Subscribe to the Patreon so we can get.
We all do need more laptops. But give us a reason to make a Patreon.
Okay, that's a good point.
Unfortunately, Charlie Morton is not a valid answer for this grid. Okay, back to you, Splash.
Alex. Give me a David Robertson.
Oh,
Robertson of David. Here also plays 2008. As I look through his listing.
World Series champion.
Oh, wait a second. Messed something up? Might have. Hold on. No, I didn't. Okay. I was like, wait a minute, I forgot one of the teams for a second.
Yeah.
No, we got this. So let's see here.
His name is Raven Davidson.
Raven Davidson. Good. You did it, buddy. Congratulations.
Shout out to Los Angeles Ravens for giving both Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins 17 carries plus.
There is no love for David Robertson on this grid.
Tough. Okay.
All right, Mac, back to you.
Okay. I'll go to his teammate, Kirby Yates.
Kirby Yates. Playing since 2014. Here, we'll make sure we see what we got.
I know he's been around the block, too.
Keep forgetting that some of these players played for these teams. Feels weird. I will say this. Kirby Yates does qualify for a square, but that square is already occupied.
Okay. Good to know.
The one square that's occupied it qualifies for.
Good to know, I guess. Okay. I would like a Jerkson Profar.
Jerkson Profar. You're having an incredible year this year. Does qualify for the grid, but in the same spot.
Okay.
Mac, back to you.
I'll go with. Man, this is bothering me. I'm
trying to remember what the quote. What was the hint that you gave last time, Splash? That was like if things started getting like problematic. Because like there was one thing you're like, oh, I'm gonna do this to make sure.
I don't remember.
Okay, well we'll figure out something if we need to.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was like guaranteed win if you got the next one.
Yeah, that was one of the ones we did. I thought there was something earlier, but anyway.
I'll go with.
I just lost my name.
I'll go with you, Darvish.
Dang it! That was my name,
Darvish. Here, 12 years in the big. It does not feel like it's been 12 years, doesn't it?
I remember his start against Houston. He almost threw a perfect game.
Yeah.
Marwin Gonzalez broke it up with 1 out.
You guys.
It
does qualify for the grade, but in the same spot again that's already occupied.
Okay.
Right,
I think we have an idea who those two teams are.
Yeah, same. I was about to say that.
I really hope so.
I hope so too. Okay. I am going to rock and/or roll with a Aroldis Chapman.
Chappie. Aroldis Chapman, been in the league now 14 years. Man, that dude's still jacked.
Yeah. He is like, I think I talked about this previously. his like body needs to be donated to science. Like his mechanics are flawless. He never gets injured. He's just pumping 104 still. He's just
a 37-year-old.
Okay.
Yeah, he's just an insane athlete.
All right. Who said Aroldis Chapman?
Mr. Splash did.
Splash, you have got the center square.
Oh, man.
Okay. Clutch.
All right. You are one square away from winning this.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So it is on to
Now I
Mac.
have to find a way to block him.
Mhm.
And the hard part is trying to figure out what that team is.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes, because you guys are blinded on this.
Yes, because there's a lot of players we've mentioned who qualify, but we're like eliminating
Okay.
teams on that side.
I'll go with Joey Gallo.
Joey Gallo, that's a name right there. Mr. Light Tower Power himself.
Oh yeah, Light Tower Power Joey Gallo.
The most disrespected player in ball.
Joey Gallo. Ooh, wait. Gallo does not qualify for any squares on this grid.
All right. I would like Mr. Marcus Semien.
Marcus Semien.
That's
Oops, I gotta make sure I actually spell things right. There we go. 11 years in the big leagues. This one should be a little easier to parse
Imagine
through.
the all White Sox team, like with former White Sox players.
Yeah.
Marcus Semien is not a valid answer on this grid.
Tough.
Okay.
Mac, back to you.
I'll go with Max Scherzer.
Max Scherzer here in the league since 2008. Let's see what we got from one Mr. Scherzer. I'm like trying to remember like how to do a lot of this, but it does appear that Scherzer does not qualify.
Yeah.
That was okay. Okay. I think I just need to get on the board with another team. So I'm gonna go Jack Flaherty.
Jack Flaherty. Jack Flaherty in the league since 2017. As I keep waiting for my laptop to constantly be loading. Jack Flaherty does not qualify for any square on the board.
Man.
Mac, to you.
Okay. I trying to remember what like who's played for what team. I'm going to go with I'll go with Corey Seager.
Corey Seager. That's an interesting one. I'm pretty sure he's only played for
He's
two
only
teams?
played for 2 teams, yeah.
Yeah, and he does not qualify for the board.
I would like to go with Wade Miley.
Is he active?
Yeah, he pitched this season.
Oh,
yeah,
he
he's
did.
active.
He's on the IL.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he Tommy John.
Let's
Tommy
see.
John.
Wade Miley. Oh. I'm learning things about some of these players. But
That's good.
let's see here. Wade Miley does not qualify for this.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are like dancing around some of them, and it just makes me laugh at this point. But
That was
You
don't
guys
know
are
if I
like
have more success trying to-
obscenely close on things.
I don't know if I should keep going for the middle right, or if I should try and get a different, like have multiple options of winning here.
That's fair. All right, Mac, back to you.
It's tough. Yeah. Okay. The hard part is also thinking of active players.
Yes.
I mean, now you guys see why last time when we did this, I just had a stack of baseball cards. I just started looking through them to think of names.
It's not a bad strategy. I'm gonna go with Jose Trevino.
Jose Trevino. That's not a name I was expecting to hear today.
Platinum Glover?
2018,
Yeah.
2024. Trevino does not qualify for the board.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going with another guy who's quote unquote active. He did pitch this season. That is Dallas Keuchel.
I knew you were going to go with Keuchel. As soon as you said technically active, I knew you were going to go with Keuchel.
Look, the man just loves ball.
I respect it. No, I
Been
respect
around,
it.
yeah.
Did he start?
All right, Keuchel has been with a lot of teams. So this was going to take a second for me to kind of parse through. Splash.
Uh-huh.
Dallas Keuchel does not qualify for the board.
Oh my how? Oh my
Man,
I know it's so. Wait a minute.
Ow.
No, does not. Unfortunately.
Okay.
Okay. Man, I get what you were going for there.
I know. I like the idea. I really did.
Oh, come on, man.
Okay. I'll go. I'm just shoot for any square. I'll go with Rich Hill.
Dang it!
Rich Hill is like the. I'm surprised it took this long to get to Rich Hill because I'm sure he's gonna put some level of this.
I'll be honest, I wasn't sure if he was eligible until you started mentioning Wade Miley and Dallas Keuchel, because like Rich Hill just got released, but he did play this year.
Yes. Oh,
okay.
I apologize for the ambulance going out. They're coming to resurrect me after you stole Rich Hill.
Oh, Black Betty ambulance. Okay.
Okay, to be clear, I was going to say if Rich Hill is not an option, I will concede. I will lose the game. I'm up to it.
Not only is he an option, he's an option for multiple squares.
Okay.
So he is an option for the bottom left square or the blocking middle right.
I'm taking that middle right then. Yeah.
Okay. All right. This game just got a lot more interesting. Splash, back to you.
Well, that totally throws off my grid. Like the grid that I had. Oh, what? Huh. Okay. Maybe. Okay. All right. Well, I guess we're back to naming guys who played on that team.
Wait a second. Did I screw up? I think I just screwed up.
Okay.
Did I screw up? I did screw up.
Okay.
I did.
Ooh.
I apologize fully. He only qualifies for one, and that is the bottom left.
All right, I'll take bottom left then.
Okay. I was gonna say
I am sorry. I misread something.
Okay. We're good. Okay. Well, now I have to go back to thinking for players that played for this team. Or I can do that team, and I have some options. I am going to rock and/or roll with Matt Chapman.
Matt Chapman. That's a name. Let's see. He's been around. It feels like he's been around for not as long as he has been. But...
His Hall of Fame case can be real weird.
It is. He's also does not qualify for the board.
Okay.
All right, Mac, back to you.
Okay. Again, trying to remember which players are still active. I'll go with Jordan Montgomery.
Monty. Jordan Montgomery, also since 2017 in the league, played for a few different teams. Does not qualify for the board.
Okay, we're going to go with a World Series champion, Travis Jankowski.
Jankowski. All right, let's see. Travis Jankowski. Come on, load, please. There we go. Wait. No.
I have a sinking suspicion of what you're going to say.
Same.
Let's see here. Does not qualify.
What?
Actually, I should say he does qualify, but in a square that already exists.
Okay.
Okay. That's what I had a feeling was going to happen.
Yeah.
I
thought you were going to say 2 squares that qualified. I would have been throwing things. Okay.
I'm going to go with I'm going to go with Emmanuel Classe.
Emmanuel Classe. Okay. All right. I did not see that one coming, but okay. Considering that he only has 2, does not qualify.
Man.
I see what you're going for, though.
Yeah.
Do you, though?
All right.
I am going to go with the pitching Will Smith, the 3-time World Series champion, Will Smith.
Let's see here. Will Smith. There we go. That's the right one.
He's been on a lot of teams.
All right. He has been on a good few teams. But has he been on the correct teams for this grid? We shall soon find out. And that answer is no. He's not that.
Bro, come on.
What in the world is this team, then?
Oh. I'll let you know, for these 6 teams, I had a wheel, and I just got 6 random ones.
Yes.
So.
Okay. This is kind of driving me insane, I won't lie.
Well, I'm aware. Driving me insane, too, because we're already 15 minutes over where we should be.
Okay. I'll go with... Man, who even is left to guess?
There's a lot of baseball players.
I don't know if this guy... I'll go with Jake Diekman.
Jake Diekman.
Another journeyman. Yeah, the Mets released him in July.
He pitched this year.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. This one could be interesting.
He's been around the block, I know.
Okay, Mac. Jake Diekman qualifies for 2 different boxes.
What? Oh, my goodness.
And those, as long as I have... There we go. Yep, I got... Okay. This one, it is for both bottom right and middle right, the blocking one.
Oh, of course. Brilliant.
Man, I'm actually going to go with the bottom right. Just because I know that if I go for the blocking one, we're just gonna end up on that forever.
Yeah, no, I'm aware. I respect it. Plus, also it puts you both one away from winning.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Splash, deal.
Okay. Going through the Rolodex of names. I guess I'm going to go with Nathaniel Lowe.
Nathaniel Lowe. Playing since 2019. Lowe does not qualify.
Okay.
Okay.
Mac, to you.
I just had a name escape me, but I'll go with Randy Arozarena.
Just hit a big old home run, going 20 for 2020 for the fourth year in a row. Good for him. Does not qualify for the grid though.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Johan Ramirez.
Slash to you.
Johan Ramirez.
Yes.
That's really good.
I saw a picture. It was his baseball reference page and Kershaw's. So Kershaw's like 17 years with one team. Ramirez has only been in the league 5 years, but he has been on 10 different teams.
But he's been everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. This looks
My grandmother's
promising.
listening to Family Feud in the background.
All right. This qualifies for 3 squares.
Okay.
1 is already taken.
Okay.
This qualifies for the blocking middle down, as well as for... Wait, did I miss that one? Oh, yeah, no, just the middle down.
Okay. I guess I will take that. Sorry, Mac. So I have 2 ways to win now.
I don't even know if it's possible for me to win anymore.
Yeah, you can get the entire top row is available, and then you have 2 spots on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think this guy was active this year. Joely Rodriguez.
Joely Rodriguez. There you are. Since 2016. I really need my laptop to stop being so slow. All right. Joel Rodriguez qualifies for 2 squares, one of which is already taken. You get the middle right for the block.
Oh, my goodness.
I had a feeling.
Okay.
And that also puts Mac back at 1 away from winning. Mac would need the top right. Splash needs the top middle. The top left square no longer really matters right
now. We have no idea who the top row is, which is a bit of a problem.
Honestly, it's hilarious to me.
That is objectively hilarious. We don't know the top row at all. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Andrew McCutcheon.
Ooh, Kutch. That's an interesting one.
He's active.
He is very active.
Especially with furries.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but, you're not wrong.
Yes.
All right. Kutch does not qualify for the board.
Gracious!
Actually, I think I knew that was coming. I'm going to go with Kyle Schwarber.
Oh, sorry, Mac. Yeah. Kyle Schwarber.
No, he's played for a few different teams.
Schwarby. He has played for a few different teams, and he's been hitting nukes with all of them.
My goodness gracious.
Kyle Schwarber has won Mac the game.
I knew this was going to happen.
So Kyle Schwarber gets him the top right-hand square, which wins him the game because he's a player that played for both the Nats and the Red Sox.
Oh, wait, that was not the team I was thinking it was at all.
So, yeah, the top row was Nationals.
Oh,
So to give you the board here, right? The top,
Did we really
top
not
from
name
left to
National?
right was Padres, Pirates, and Red Sox.
Okay.
And then from top to bottom was Nationals, Rangers, and Mets, which made me laugh when someone picked Scherzer because he was all three of them without being any of the other teams.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. For some reason, I thought the right column was the Phillies, and I thought the bottom row
Yeah,
was
I
the
could tell
Braves.
you guys. You guys get so many Phillies. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh.
I had the
knew
left side was San Diego and the middle row was
Yeah,
Texas.
same.
Then I figured out the middle
Yes.
the middle column was Pittsburgh.
Well, yeah, when we kept getting
Pittsburgh.
all guys who only played for like Rangers and Padres, I was like, oh my God. There's like, okay, we have to figure out what the other squares are.
I was laughing. So here's the thing, right? Like I was laughing because you guys got that square, I think 5 different times throughout this game. Flash was just the first one to do it.
Yeah.
But no, that was one. I'm just like, come on, please, someone guess a national. Because here's the thing, you guys had an opportunity earlier in the game, I believe, to find out what that top row was, but it was a part of a multiple ones, and you chose for one of the other ones, I think.
Yeah, probably.
So,
all right,
that's
well,
what kind
good
of
game,
looks
Flash.
GG.
That was a battle, really.
Right
Yeah. So for more show, this was my grid. It's not going to show because I have blur on, but there we go, a little bit.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But yeah, so thank you guys for playing. Guess what? The audience is just as blind as you guys are with trying to see my grid.
All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, back to regularly scheduled programming. It is now time for our moment to ourselves. Would anyone like to go first? I can go first.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
I'll count you off.
Sure.
Yep. Your time begins in 3, 2, 1. Begin.
I strive to love something as much as my grandmother loves buying new crock pots. I think she's on her 8th one this year, which I wish that was an exaggeration. But it's like every couple weeks, it's like, I got to buy a new crock pot. This one's dirty, or this one's it. Like, can we figure out the crock pots, please? So lots of love, but the crock pot is on crack, my friend.
You can
you not clean a crock pot? I've cleaned a crock pot.
I don't know. I'll talk to her when I get done with this.
You can make like good like chicken and stuff in that.
Crock pots are wonderful.
Yeah.
No, I have no ill to say of crock pots.
Like, I don't think they need to be cleaned every 10 seconds, though. I mean, yes, they need to be cleaned, obviously, whenever you use them. But not like that. All right. Fair enough, then.
All right.
I'll go next.
Sure.
Go ahead.
All right. Someone count me down.
3, 2, 1.
So I'm wearing the City Connect jerseys because so are the Mariners, and they're doing fantastic while doing so. Currently this season, they are 16-1 while wearing these incredible City Connect jerseys, including the black pants. I don't care what you guys say. They are beautiful. But regardless, the fact that they're doubling down on this is hilarious. They've already announced that for the Yankee series, at least game 1, they're going to be wearing the City Connects again. And I am so about it. It is absolutely amazing to see. These jerseys are great, but it's at the end of the season. You guys are trying to make a run. Why not have a little fun with a superstition, right? It's kind of interesting to think about the fact that the entire season, they have only lost 1 game while wearing the City Connect uniforms. They have lost 1 game. Here, that is a winning percentage of over 95% at this point. About 95. I think it's about 95, somewhere around there. But I'm not great at math. But I love the fact they're doubling down on this. It's just fun at this point, and that's what the Mariners team has been lacking this entire season, is that fun factor. And now that with guys like Robles and Rosarena and Julio, as well as JP, all in the fold having a good time, you know what? Roll out the City Connects and let's have some fun.
That's the second time I've done that. My bad.
No, you're good. I probably should have done it myself. My apologies.
All right. Mac, it is your time to shine, my friend.
All right. Somebody count me down, please.
3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah, I just really quickly want to give my flowers to Bowden Francis with Toronto. Just the for those of you who maybe didn't watch, the Mets became the second team to break up one of Francis's no hitters in the ninth inning. This time it was Francisco Lindor leading off with the game tying home run. Which, by the way, MVP Francisco, please, I hope you're back. Heals quickly, but over the last 2 months, or ever since he became a regular starter, he's only allowed 15 hits in like 45 innings, which is insane. I just feel like, because the Blue Jays are not in contention, he's not getting as much attention as he deserves. And yes, he was August pitcher of the month, but this is a guy who was relatively unknown. They only got him as, in a trade for Rowdy Tellez in 2021. And I was not familiar with his game. I'll say it. And that game, he only struck out one batter. He didn't have great stuff that day, but he has a lot of movement. He doesn't blow guys away, but just keep an eye out for this guy. He's kind of old for a quote unquote rookie. Actually, I realize he's not a rookie anymore, but just keep your eyes open for this guy. Maybe he doesn't actually end up like an ace like he has been lately, but this guy, Bowden Francis, is very good. And shout out to Sean Manaea. I noticed Manaea sort of tip his cap after his outing. So yeah, that's just I just wanted to make sure to give this guy some credit.
All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, Bowden Francis is like setting whip records over here.
Yes.
So good job, Indiana Jones. Anyways, that will bring us to the end of our episode today. I started the episode off with a Simpsons reference. I will end the episode off with a Simpsons reference. So, Santa's little helper, you're coming real soon, pal. So, we'll see you in a future episode.